All right, we're finally live, I think. Minus the technical difficulties. My goodness gracious, that was terrible. OBS was not playing nice with YouTube. I don't know why. And we're just going to move ahead with a regular hangout. So, Dandy, what's up?
Okay, I can finally see you on YouTube.
Finally. My goodness. I don't know what the problems were. But anyway, cool thing is I went out today and probably saw the clearest observations I've ever seen over Lake Pontchartrain. Figured we would share it and me and you could chit chat about it. I've kind of got my screen on the wrong screen here. But yeah, let me everything is so like in the wrong place now because I had it all set up for OBS and OBS is failing to work for me. So I am now going to put it here and we're now going to see what the live stream looks like or the live chat looks like. Let me see. Let me pop that out real quick. And where is it? Here we go. Here's a bunch of people. Pop out chat. Okay. All right, peoples. Yes, Factard. I know. Strike's on. Guess what? There's always somebody on streaming sometime. I've gotten tired of like trying to figure it all out. If I ever feel like streaming, I shouldn't have to worry about other people being on at the same time. You know, basically record mine, can watch it later. So I can't worry about that anymore. I've tried, and there's always somebody on all the time. So there's no avoiding it. Anyway. I thought it would be cool to kind of share some of these observations since it was some of the clearest observations I've seen tonight, which was neat. And I figured I'd have Dandy on with me to chit chat about it. Absolutely. And so I am going to try and share with you, Dandy, my screen.
Sean Hawkins, happy Apollo 8th. 50th anniversary. Man.
I can't even find the hangout at the moment. This is
exactly right. I didn't even think about that 50 years ago.
So I am moving the pictures onto my other screen so I can share that screen. And here we go. Get ready. Here it comes. Maybe. Where's the... I'm seriously having some serious technical difficulties. Maybe it's my computer. I don't know. Like I can't even get the share thing to pop out from the left side. Oh, there it goes finally. Jeez, man, what's wrong with this thing? All right, cool. Finally got to the point I wanted to get to.
All those CGI programs you're using, you shut them down. They're eating up all your...
Yeah, eating up my CPU, man. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's just pop this out into a new tab, and that way we'll have more real estate to go with. Maybe. What? Open in new tab. It's supposed to like collapse down all these other ones whenever I do that, and nothing. I mean, nothing is absolutely nothing is working tonight. I don't understand what's going on. I really don't understand what's going on. It's frustrating the crap out of me. Okay, anyway, Dandy, these are the first time that you are looking at them, and I did take some P9 or P1000 RAW images. You see the Nikon RAWs right here. Do you see it? Are you seeing my screen currently?
I am.
All right, cool. And this is from Frenier Landing, which is where I did the Equinox Challenge in 2017. And these are pictures of the causeway and not the causeway. These are pictures of New Orleans from there. And this was one of the coolest shots I thought that we could actually discuss is this. This is the bridge, the what is it called? The connection. The
great
It's the
Totally spacing on it.
yeah, no, I forgot. Totally forgot the name of it as well. Crescent City Connection.
Yes, thank you.
So that's the Crescent City Connection, which, by the way, cruise boats cruise underneath, and we're not even seeing the road from here. Of course, in the foreground, we see trees blocking our view, but they're not blocking 300 feet worth of view. That's for sure. So that's a pretty cool observation, and there are some later observations where you can see the Crescent City Connection, where it's actually all the way up. It's obstructed all the way to this to the top rail, basically.
How? Let me ask you this: how close? You look like you're pretty close to that water. 4 feet.
Not really. No, I'm actually up on that. You went to Fernier. Yeah, we went to Fernier together. So you know how behind the restaurant or underneath the restaurant there's tables.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm actually on one of those tables.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I'm like way up high.
Man.
And I have some. I actually took some wide angle shots with my cell phone, so there is some stuff on probably on Google by now that I could show from my cell phone.
I'm not used to seeing the P1000 images. I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, these are all P1000 images, I believe. Isn't that correct? No, this is Sony. These are Sony images. What am I talking about? These are Sony images. The P1000 images are here. I actually didn't take that many P1000 images. I took the night shots actually with the P1000. I actually went to go record with the P1000 and it died because my battery was dead. But this is actually pretty cool, the P1000. You can see that I was trying to take a long exposure with the P1000 to get 3 Lakeway Center. This is a little bit later in the night.
The wind got you, huh?
It's not too bad. I mean, look at it. It's just grainy because it's a long exposure and it's the P1000. It's just a bad sensor. But I mean, that's a pretty good shot of 3 Lakeway and 2 Lakeway right there.
Yep.
And that's with the P1000, long exposure with the P1000. So not too bad. I mean,
no, not bad at all. You're missing a building.
Yeah, there's a whole building missing. And I did take one video with the P900, which is kind of cool, I guess. I don't know why it keeps opening on my other screen. So frustrating. So this is the P900 near footage. Here's New Orleans over here.
Is there a dog outside?
Yeah, I put Princess up there.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to bring her in?
No, she's fine. I just didn't know what was going on. Dang. Man, that looks so weird.
Here's New Orleans. It's actually a pretty cool shot. In a second here, I'll stop messing with the tripod and it'll stabilize.
You need to the stream keeps going to me, so they're not seeing.
Oh, you won't. Oh, yeah. I guess I should be. I should put myself on present to everyone. There we go.
Yeah.
So there is 3 Lakeway right there. This is the P900 near. And yeah, there's 3 Lakeway, 2 Lakeway, 1 Lakeway. And this is from Fernier Landing, so it's closer, a lot closer. And this building right here is reflecting the sun. So it's super bright.
I got you.
Yeah, it's like almost directly in line with it, this wall right here.
Okay, so I'm looking at what is it? What is this building here? That's 2 Lakeway.
The tall one is 3 Lakeway. The second,
no. The one reflecting the sunlight.
That's 2.
Yeah, because I know. Okay, so from Fernier, you're looking almost directly east. So this was later in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man, what a clear shot.
It was unbelievable today. Like the seeing conditions were just amazing. I haven't seen anything like this in ever, probably. Even last year it wasn't this clear. And I had some really clear days, actually.
It's the clearest day I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The
Amazingly
clearest day
clear.
that I've ever seen while I've been waiting for, because I haven't been waiting for this day for my whole life. I've been waiting for it for, you know, in the last year. I've been paying pretty close attention to the
Yeah.
atmosphere and how clear it is. And today was extraordinary for Louisiana, at least. I don't know what it's like other places, but man, was it ever.
Yeah, and just remember that New Orleans is actually further west, than than the Lakeway Center. It's hard to
Right.
tell from this shot, but it is. It's further west.
I love the contrast in that.
Yeah, the near is actually pretty cool, right? I mean, it's actually a pretty cool picture, pretty cool video.
It just creates like an X-ray. It just sort of removes all the nonsense.
Yeah.
That it just highlights the things that are important. That's really cool. I mean, the shadows are amazing. It's like
Well, one thing that you'll notice is that the buildings, like the grid pattern for the windows, is way sharper, than
wow.
like look how clear that is. You can actually count those windows. Just because of the contrast, that and there's the building. Look, there's the Crescent City connection again.
Mm.
And just to give people an idea about this bridge, the Crescent City connection here. Let me actually pull that up. Let's see. Let me see here. Well, it would be nice to have this here. Let's see. Here we go. So maps and go to New Orleans. Oops, that was fast. Here we go. Wait, is that the correct one? It's this one here, actually. Crescent City connection. Let's take a look at that. Here you go. Here's a good picture of it right here. So this is the bridge we're looking at for near landing. And what we're seeing is this.
Yeah.
So majority of the bridge is and it's actually very hard to even kind of grasp how big this bridge is, but just think these barges, these tankers are actually going underneath it, and cruise boats going underneath this bridge. So the clearance is like super high. And essentially from the North Shore, you can actually see it obstructed all the way up to this top bar right here. So you're talking about, hundreds of feet obstructed from the North Shore. I mean, like take a look at this picture, kind of gives you some idea, what's going on here. It's just massive, this bridge.
Well, guess who built it?
Who built it?
The Bow brothers. The ones who built the
Oh, really?
Bridge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They're not allowed to give me. They're not allowed to give me.
Look, this boat can fit underneath it right here. There's actually a dock where the cruise boats come into New Orleans. It's on the other side of the bridge from the Gulf. They're not allowed to give you what, Dandy?
The construction plans, but they pointed me in the right direction with the Department of Transportation. I had to fill out like a request for information, and they know people there personally, and they're gonna expedite that for me.
Awesome.
So because they have everything, and they said they wouldn't have a problem sending it to me. So once I get it, I can model it, and then we can do some real blink tests like that. That would be awesome to model that out
No doubt.
and do a legit blink test and get it in the correct orientation, because that's going to be huge for especially for all these buildings. 2 and 3 have already been created by a guy who lives in New Orleans. 2 and 3, Lakeway Center, I mean, have already been modeled.
So this is really strange, dude. Like, yeah, I actually saw those models. You sent those to me, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I should just be able to open this folder by itself. Like, I don't. I really don't. Everything, nothing is working tonight. It's so bizarre. Oh well. I'm not going to fight it too much because it'll waste a lot of time. So, what I will do instead is just go with it. Okay. So these are the images I took tonight. This is from for near landing. There's a lot of foreground land, the other side of the lake. So that's what you're seeing there. That's just the higher land and trees that are on the opposite side of the lake that are in the foreground. This little wide angle shot from where I actually was. The water doesn't actually come all the way up to where I was. This land out here in front is actually where they harvest clams, and that is the restaurant at Near Landing. This is where I was. I was actually up above. See, there's my scope right there. So that's where I was. Yeah, kind of gives you, I guess, a view of it. Okay, so this is me moving over to the North Shore, right by the causeway, and most everybody has seen pictures like this before, but some of these pictures are just so clear. I was surprised at how clear it was. I mean, I knew it was going to be a good night, but I didn't think it would be this good. And there are pictures in here that you can literally count the windows and the floors. I mean, I got a little smudge on my telescope. Apparently, there's some smudges. I can see them. So I need to clean that up before our big day. But I mean, that's pretty good. Pretty damn clear. You can count, I mean, you can see these windows all the way down to the water here. You can tell there's no reflection. The horizon is super sharp. It's just a really good night for photography. And just a reminder, this is 24.14 miles from my camera location. And that there's like, a whole building that's 200 feet tall missing right here. It's way below the horizon. So pretty cool stuff. And I do have raw images, which I didn't have before. So I can get a little bit of polish on them and maybe clear it up and get some better contrast. That one was moving. It looks like maybe a little wind. That's a pretty good one. But pretty soon here, we're going to move on to New Orleans. I took a whole bunch of these. Just trying to each one of these is like a different tweak to the focus. So like maybe this one's actually super clear. Let's see. Yeah. Not too bad. And let's see here. Moving along. Oh, here. There's actually more of these.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
This one's actually really good.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that's just a raw image, unedited, unmodified at all. You know, just straight off the camera sensor. I kind of feel like if somebody was standing in one of those windows with a bright red light, we'd be able to see them. You know.
Yep.
And just a reminder, this building here is 3 Lakeway. That's about 400 feet tall. This building here is 200 and something feet tall. It's a little bit over 200. And there's another building right here called 1 Lakeway, which is completely missing. And it's a nearly 200 feet tall. This is the horizon here. And I mean, it's pretty straightforward. This is the, this right here is called the fender system. And that fender system is about 8 miles away, and it's right on the horizon. So it gives you an idea. Bunch of stuff people have seen already, but tonight was like actually surprisingly very sharp for New Orleans. This is my first picture of New Orleans, very first picture of New Orleans, and you can see just amazing clarity here. I've never seen it this clear ever. I can almost read the letters on this sign right here, and you can look at the floors. I mean, you can literally count the floors of this building as they're getting, you know, down closer to the water. It's like, just count them all the way down and look how sharp it is. I mean, it's just a really good night. Really hard to start arguing about mirages and reflections and the mirroring layer and all that nonsense whenever you have super clear observations like this.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, I'm not real sure what anybody can do to make it any clearer than that. But
the only thing they could say is CGI. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Well, they have to. That's all they have left. So, and this right here is actually I'm not exactly sure what it is. There's some type of post that sticks out of the water really close to me. It's actually in front of the horizon. And it has this light on the top of it. I really don't know what it is. But this is like maybe, you know, half a mile away. And this is like 26 miles away or something like that. So
this image,
it should give you an idea of how clear things are tonight.
I'm blown away. I can't believe this is crazy.
Yeah. Really
That's
good,
an
really good night. Yeah, no doubt.
Nice.
And going back, so that was the first picture of New Orleans, right? So I took a few, obviously. I almost feel like I can read. I almost feel like I can read these letters.
Dude, that is astonishing.
There's some letters right here. There's something written right here. I'm not sure what it is, but I can't read it now, but I felt like I might have been able to whenever I took the picture. Okay, so here's the bridge. Here's the Crescent City Bridge. So this, again, going back to what we were talking about with the Crescent City Bridge, here it is. Let's go back to a side shot here. Okay, here's the Crescent City Bridge. And all we're seeing is these top two peaks.
The very top peak.
Right? I mean, there it is. That's what we're seeing. That should give you an idea, very good indication as to what's going on here. The Earth is curving away from us, and the horizon is obstructing the bridge. I mean, there's no other rational explanation. That's what we're seeing there.
What
There it
a
is.
crazy! It looks like you put a piece of electrical tape. Look how sharp it is. That is a crazy shot.
I actually changed my position slightly to get a little bit higher, a little bit later, and you can see that cross beam, that cross member. Look at these shots. This is freaking insane, dude. Look at that thing.
All right, look, I'm just gonna say, because unless you've actually gone out and done night photography, you normally on any given Sunday you go out and you try to do this.
There's no
And
way.
because of the shimmering in the atmosphere, those lights will look, they do a lot of waving. This is the sharpest I have ever seen. I've never gotten anything close to this.
All right, so I got something for you, Dandy. Hold on a second. Let me see.
The only time I've ever got anything like this is when I'm shooting straight up at the stars. That's it. You cannot. It's almost impossible to shoot the horizon.
Yep.
Like this.
This is, like I said, this is the clearest I've ever seen it, ever, including last year. And I'm actually putting my my SD card back in so that we can look at the video, which I forgot to copy over. So let's look at the video that I took of this, which is amazing.
I'm blown away, man. I really am. I'm like speechless. I can't believe it. I've been out so many times to try to get this kind of stuff at not even a quarter of the distance and can't get this. I can see it through my eyepiece, but to see something through the eyepiece versus capturing it on film or on digital, they're two different things.
All right, so here's a video I captured. Tweaking the focus a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is the A7?
Yeah, this is the Sony A7.
Oh my god. Dude.
It's like capturing it like 1/4 right now. Like this is shutter speed 1/4. So it's really slow, but
I
still.
got you. Yeah.
Still, it's pretty awesome.
Oh my god, dude, it looks fake. That's how crazy this is. It's unbelievable.
And this is 6 minutes of footage, so let's kind of speed it up here. Let's see.
Dude, you are gonna get.
Look, there's the bridge. You see, I moved a little bit. You see how you can see these lights now, right on the horizon? That's the very top of it, right? Very top of the bridge, right there, right on the horizon.
Hold on, the stream has to catch up because I'm seeing everything like 20 seconds after you say it. My God.
Just watch the hangout, dude. Watch the.
Yeah, but it's on my cell phone. It's really
Oh,
small.
I see. Well, dude, you need to watch this on your computer whenever we're done with this.
I am watching it on my computer.
Oh, I see. It's unbelievable. It was an unbelievable night. I can only hope. Like somebody, here's a challenge for the people in the chat. Okay, I need to go look at the chat. Have you been looking at chat at all?
I mean, I was, but when you started showing this,
a challenge for someone is to figure out what building this is and what it actually looks like. Because I guarantee you there's like 200 feet of building missing right here. And it's the same for all these other buildings. I mean, this building right here is 600 feet tall. I think that's the Shell building. Just go look at the New Orleans buildings and see what they look like, because this one's actually a very obvious building right here. This one's got a unique roof to it. Should be able to find that pretty easily. I mean,
what can you say about it? What
exactly.
can you say?
What is there left to be said? I mean,
CGI, that's it. Fake.
Flat
That's
Earth,
it. That's
Flat Earth
all you
died a
can
year
say.
ago, and now we're just putting more nails in the coffin. That's all we're doing.
No, this is just perfecting. This is just getting it. I mean, there's nothing that can be said about it except that it's fake. That's the only thing that can be said.
This one's cool. Check it out.
There's no more.
Caught a plane right here.
There's no more perspective. You just needed more. I mean, come on. You didn't run out of you didn't run out of zoom. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, didn't run out of zoom. So, yep, that's pretty much it. I mean, the scene conditions were amazing. Got some really cool footage. I really don't know how I could get it any sharper, to be honest. I mean, it's really, really sharp, clean footage of a very hard horizon. No mirage, no mirroring, no magic perspective. And
the most mild
there it is.
turbulence I've ever seen.
And the most what?
The most mild turbulence in the
Yes,
atmosphere.
exactly. Yes.
You get just a little bit of wind going, man. It knocks that shit straight out, and you get some of the sharpest images ever.
This was me tweaking one of them just to kind of clear it up a little bit, give a little bit more pop to it. I mean, it just looks good, man. What a night! Look at that. You can count these floors, dude. Look at them. That's pretty much it, Dandy. So we got to start. We got to start prepping for some of the stuff that you want to do. You want to tell them about some of the experiments you want to do for this upcoming observation, or what? You gonna make it a secret?
Well, I'm currently building and testing a rig to go inside my car or on top of the car. That's basically going to be like a 3-axis gimbal with Steadicam arm. And I'm going to do my best to capture just a traverse across Lake Pontchartrain on the bridge, on the causeway, looking at these buildings. And I figure I've already done a test and it was pretty decent. I definitely have to shoot at a minimum of 60 frames a second with what I have, but it is possible to grab some really sharp frames each minute. So my idea was to drive the bare minimum speed limit across the causeway at 60 frames a second and try to grab as many good frames in the video as I can. And then I will stabilize all of that and probably do some cropping to try to keep the scale of the buildings the same throughout and create like a GIF. It might be a 30-second GIF, I figure. So I need 30 seconds of good frames. And I would say like maybe a few hundred good frames per mile to stabilize and crop. And I'm going to try to do it with 2 different cameras. I'm going to try to do it with the P900 with the near infrared, and I'm going to try to do it with the binoculars with my cell phone, which is basically what I did at the basin. And I got one of these, it's like a GoPro knockoff. It's a really cheap action camera I got it from Home Depot for 20 bucks just to kind of test it out. And I think I'm going to use that as like a reticle, basically, because it connects to my cell phone. I've got 2 cell phones, and I'm going to have one of them on the binocular, which is going to be streaming what it sees to my computer monitor inside the car. So you will see what it sees. And then there will be another, just a general, like a wide angle from this GoPro type camera, which will be streaming to the other cell phone in the car. So basically, one cell phone in the car just being used as a monitor, with the cheap GoPro using as a reticle to kind of keep everything in frame. So you'll have one handle to do all of this. And it's gonna be difficult to do. And there's one thing that I really need to add to it that's gonna get I've got the yaw, the pitch, and the roll down. It is completely stable. What I'm working on right now is the bouncing of the car across the causeway. And I know how to eliminate it, but it's going to take some doing. And I've kind of run out of money. So hopefully I get a little bit of money for Christmas and I will be able to finish this thing. But right now it's good enough to do what I want. And I keep running up against the wall trying to make things perfect. And I keep having to remind myself, it just needs to be better than it is right now. So I know for a fact I can get what I want, but I want to make it better. I want to make it much easier, and I'm using, I'll show you what I'm using. The material that I'm using. So this is all this angle iron right here. I'm going to weld these 2 pieces of angle iron, this plate right here, and then I'm using this old RC car frame with the suspension to help dampen it. So this is going to be sitting here on top of the 3-axis gimbal. The weight is going to hang down under here, and it's going to have, I don't have it all put together, but here's all the materials that I have. I mean, this shit is like some thick ass steel. It's heavy duty steel. And here is how I'm going to keep it. I'm going to use this impeller right here. This is a heavy duty piece right here, German made, with the tail fin to keep it straight and facing the correct position that I want. Oh yeah, Apollo 8. Who was talking about Apollo 8? Was it I'm Rick? This is everything right here from Apollo 8. And 50 years ago, they were going around the moon for the first time. I think like right now, they're making their first orbit. Humans. Oh, so anyway.
I need to present you, actually. I think my sound might have been.
With the camera, this camera rig that's going on top of the car, it's actually found 2 awesome anchor points inside the sunroof, which is how it's connected. So I'm just going to remove the screws and get some longer ones and anchor it in that way. So it'll be something that I can remove very quickly.
So this is all to enable a shot of us driving across the causeway and watching New Orleans come up from over the horizon, right?
Yep, through high magnification.
So I am Rick wanted to join us, and I tried to send him a invite on Hangouts, and I don't have a connection with him on Discord, but he is asking me to find him on Discord. So, Rick, I can't find you, man. You got to help me out. How do I find you?
Yeah, 7. I'm going to put my nutsack on your drum kit.
What are you talking about? What is going on here?
Why would you do that? God, what an asshole.
Okay, I am Rick. I tried to look you up at I am Rick on Discord, and I am getting zero from that. Of course, my computer's been acting like it's possessed all night, so who knows? Could be that it's just possessed. But I tried, and I can't find you, man. So I'm not sure how that's supposed to work, but you can look me up. I mean, I sent you an invite on Hangouts. I am Rick. You should be able to find it, hopefully. Okay, so anyway, yeah, anybody that would like to actually show up January 4th, 5th, and 6th, we will be out there. And me and Jesse Kozlowski have a hotel room at or 2 separate hotel rooms, I should say, at the Marriott Hotel, which is in 3 Lakeway Center. We're both pretty much guaranteed a 15th and 16th floor room. We're hoping one of us will get on the 16th floor. That's the goal. And so I will be spending probably an entire day just perfecting a photograph. I have a whole plan in place and I've been practicing to do some focus stacking and eventually mean stacking of the causeway to just get a really crisp and clear picture. Hopefully it works out, considering that I haven't been able to practice on the causeway itself. We'll have to see what happens. Marriott is a chain of hotels, yes. Marriott is a chain of hotels. And in this particular case, the Marriott Hotel in Metairie is in 3 Lakeway Center, which is the building. And it only goes up to the 16th floor, and past that is office space, which goes up to the 34th floor. So yeah, it'd be great if I could get up there. I've tried. They don't like me. I don't know why they won't let me up there, other than I mentioned that I want to take photographs, and they just laugh it off. So I've tried, and maybe I'll try again. I'll reach out to them again and see if, with some of the latest photographs, maybe I can do a trade. Like here's a photograph of your building. Please let me get up higher inside the building somewhere. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Oh, speaking of that, we need to remember to call and get our access passes for the causeway.
I got it on my
yeah, we need to do that like tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow. We'll probably need to do that like Wednesday. I would say Wednesday probably would be the best day to do it. Everybody be back from the Christmas. So on Wednesday, we need to get our passes, and we need to figure out if everybody has to call and get their passes individually, or if we can get them as a group.
I'm curious to know if Nikon has ever publicly said anything about Flat Earth.
Nikon? I doubt it.
Dude, you have to know that they know what that camera's being used for.
I don't know, man. Maybe, but I
How
should.
would they not know?
There's I am Rick. He found us.
Oh, you're just like presenting me this whole time, Soundly.
I was, yeah, but I just undid it. Does Nikon know? Who knows? But they're definitely making a profit off of it, aren't they?
They have to know.
I wonder what the percentage sales of the P1000 were actually to flat earthers. That would be a good statistic to know. I am Rick. Welcome to my humble abode.
Thank you very much. I'd like to say something before we get too much further into this. I've had my truck for 18 years, and today I just discovered I've never checked the air filter on it. Does my truck even have an air filter?
What? I have no idea, man. I'm surprised it's still running if you haven't checked your air filter in 18 years.
I never knew it had one, but that's it. I just wanted to ask if you knew. Okay, go ahead.
What kind of truck do you have?
It's a Toyota Tacoma.
Oh, well, yeah. I have a Toyota Tacoma, and yeah, it definitely has an air filter.
I'm guessing that whoever has changed your oil has been smart enough to also change your air filter at the same time. You've been paying for it and didn't even know it.
I wasn't, because I'm the one that changes my oil. But
well, then you've done a poor job of changing your air filter.
I changed my oil filter.
Well,
hey, I'm not. I know you think I'm kidding, but that's a true story I thought of tonight. Very interesting story too, by the way.
What's that?
About the air filter.
Hey, I am Rick. I don't know if you know this, but I just interviewed Flat Out, and it's going to be premiering on Christmas Eve. And while I was interviewing him, I was thinking, I am Rick and Flat Out need to be like collaborating together. They're the two flat Earth comedians.
I tried to set up a debate deal with him, and we talked about it through email, but we never could get our times right, and I just gave up. I kind of lost interest in it, but I had some fun stuff. I had an ice wall that I made in a pan, and I had some good globe proofs.
Oh, you guys should definitely do a debate. You need to contact Flat Out, rearrange whatever you're trying to arrange, and get that debate going.
Oh, I think it would be awesome.
It would definitely be awesome. You could teach them all about like perspective and CGI birds and the P. See, you made the P9000 before he did.
Yeah,
was it the P9000? Yeah, I think he had P9 million.
No, it was the what was it?
Remember, you would zoom in and you would
Turnomatic 5000, where you could turn. You could not only zoom in, but you could actually turn and see around the side of it with the Turnomatic 5000. That's how I saw that Soundly deal on that hut on the causeway. That's how I first busted you.
Exactly. Barry On says, Soundly, did Flat Out convert you? Phew. Man, it was really close. I mean, he did give me free tuition to FEC U, so I might have to take him up on that. Soundly, you still have to reverse your Santa hat.
Everybody wants to see my face, so I'm going to turn my camera on.
Oh, I thought that was you, I am Rick. I thought you were a retired wrestler.
It is, but I grew a beard. Damn, I got this thing taped up because I don't want Google spying on me.
It's just the NSA, man. They're innocent. It won't hurt you.
Oh, I do. Seriously, I do want to talk to you another time when you have time, not in this.
You want to talk to me when what?
Another time, not during this, about something else.
All right. About what?
About making a how you video. Of course, you know I don't really want to take tips from you after tonight, but
Yeah, tonight was a bad night to take tips from. That's for sure.
but I think you answered it when you said OBS is how you're doing it. So
Yeah, I was using OBS, which I've never had a problem with before, and tonight, for some reason, it just would not stream correctly. I have no idea what happened or why. It just did not work. Period.
all right,
Yeah.
I want to show my face or not.
Brian Jepson says, Soundly, can you please get on Oakley's channel and give him the what for? I'm not going to Oakley's channel. The dude has a mute button. He just mutes and talks over people. Yeah, I think he actually has some type of plug-in where whenever he starts speaking, everybody else gets muted automatically. I'm not going to that channel. The guy's a freaking vile person. I don't want anything to do with it. Now, if somebody else wants me to debate him on, a neutral channel, like maybe the non sequitur, okay, I can go for that. Absolutely.
You like my white beard, and you thought Santa was fake.
I missed it.
I said, how do you like my white beard? You thought Santa was fake.
I can't even see your face. It's so dark.
Ah, that's right.
You're like a ghost, Santa. I'm presenting you to everyone. Now everyone knows what your ghost Santa face looks like. I am Rick.
Oh, I'm not even showing up.
No, you're like super dark, man.
I don't see myself.
I am Rick. I've been doing interviews, man. I've been doing interviews. You want to jump in for an interview?
Yeah, I'd love it. I don't know how long I could last. I could probably go 20 minutes on one before I start repeating myself.
Well, you used to be the lone comedian in the flat Earth world until Flat Out showed up.
Man, it was fun for a while, but it got wearing on me, and I don't want to talk down to anybody, but I mean, after a year of listening to the same thing over and over, I'm tired of that. I'll move on to something important like the moon conspiracies.
So you're on the moon conspiracies now?
Unfortunately, I got hooked into it because a comedian named Owen Benjamin, who I was listening to, out of the blue, just started saying the moon landings were hoaxes. And I go, what? No, don't start that. But I'm over it.
Well, Dandy is like a moon buff. He knows everything there is to know about Apollo. So he's the guy to talk to if you want some info.
Well, Owen won't let anybody give any contrary evidence. He just calls you retarded and then moves on. So it's kind of like Nathan.
He just shuts you down.
Yeah, and if you say he won't let anybody on his show, but if you put it in the side chat, he'll just read like the first line and then say you're retarded and then go back into the nobody can cross the Van Allen belts. You know, the same fact. Have you ever listened to the moon landing hoaxes? What they say?
Yes, I've
Well, it's like 5 things they say, and he just repeats them over and over. The Van Allen radiation belt, the couple of deals from NASA where they said they can't go anymore, that they lost the technology, the one of the moon rocks ended up being a petrified wood. You know, it's like 5 things, and he just repeats them over and over and over. Oh, okay.
Isn't this like par for the course though? Isn't this what they all do?
Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm over it.
Have you actually joined Jim Panda's Discord at all? I am Rick.
Yeah, I just sent you a message the other day. Don't you remember me telling you the moon was fake?
On Discord?
Yeah, just the other day.
What?
You replied back.
Not a personal message, right? You're I am Rick on Discord. You are I am Rick on Discord.
No, it's just I'm Rick. Look in your messages.
I'm looking in my messages. You must have sent a different Soundly something.
How many Soundlys are on there?
I don't know. Must have been a fake one.
Because I got it. There's a long string.
There's no I'm Rick in my direct messages. Oh yeah, there is. I'm lying to you. There it is.
Now look at the very last thing.
Oh yeah, I sent an LOL. Totally forgot about this, man. That was just like a week ago.
I know. I was just mostly saying hello.
Oh man. Oh man. Goodness, you need to come join us in Jim Panda's Discord, because I tell you what, it's a nightly thing where people they just put their complete stupidity on display for anyone else to look at. It's like, don't you know you're supposed to wear clothes? No, they don't care. They just naked stupidity, man. That's all there is to it.
I can't take it anymore. I started listening to the social justice warriors. I don't know if you know what all's going on, but I don't want to get into it. And for some reason, it led me down a political debates between the right and the left. And I started listening to Ben Shapiro, and I don't know. I'm listening to some weird stuff right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that stuff. Obviously, it's all over YouTube, but I just stay away from it, man. It seems like there's just nothing but negativity around there from both sides, really. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, the social justice thing was I'm really into comedy. I love comedians and stuff. Mm-hmm. So they started. They'd make a joke about something, and everybody would jump on them, and they'd get kicked off their show or lose bookings. And it was like, this is jokes. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't want to bring your bridge chat down.
That's all right. I'm thinking about to shut down anyway. Andy, you have anything else to show us? I see you're showing us Apollo stuff.
Oh yeah, just I just happen to have the disc in. This is all photos from the first EVA of Apollo 16. What's cool is
Dandy,
I
have a question for you, since you're the moon man.
Mm-hmm.
There are photos of some of the objects that some of the manned missions left on the moon. Are there not?
Do you mean objects
like an old like the lander or something? Rover, not the lander, the rover.
So you're asking if there are photos of those items left on the moon taken by the astronauts themselves, or are you talking about
later missions?
Well, there's the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. It did some really close high-res images
and it did it for a really long time. So you've got a bunch of different angles of the sun, and eventually, you know, that thing it goes over the exact same spot at a slightly different, say, time of day on the moon. So you can take those images and put them into a GIF form and watch the shadows of the objects that were left there, like the flag, the lander, the rover. You can definitely see the footprints. You can see the rover tracks. This right here, this is a television transmission. I'm speeding it up just so you can see, but this is uninterrupted, unedited. You never see this from the moon hoax conspiracy people. They just show you little tiny little fragments of video. And the TV transmission, this guy, Ed Findle, he's the guy who was operating this camera remotely from Mission Control in Houston, Texas.
Yes, I was actually alive and watched the first manned moon landing. This is better than what I watched live. It was mostly just shadows. This must be from the film they brought back.
No, this is television transmission.
It is.
Yep. It has not been cleaned up or done anything to.
This is the first mission?
Nope, this is Apollo 16. This is a
okay.
completely different technology, a different camera.
Oh, that's another.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
They had 3 different cameras that they used for television transmissions, and I believe this was RCA, this one here.
Yeah, the first mission was really just shadows. One of the things Owen claims is that there are no original films, or the original films were lost, which I suppose they were, but the transmission was recorded 3 different places. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I know there's original taken straight off the TV, but you know that's not going to do him any good. Plus, he would never look at this, but whatever.
I mean, that's pretty much how it was done. I mean, you have this type of film is what they're looking for. They're looking for how this was saved right here, which it wasn't. That's the problem. They had no way of doing it except to. I mean, we're talking about 10 frames per second field rate, which is your refresh rate. So they had to do the slow scan conversion by essentially pointing a television, and when I say television, I mean the broadcast television cameras at the monitor, the monitor that was actually collecting the telemetry.
This is sped up though, right?
Yeah, this is sped up to, that was at 8 speed, 8x.
Well, I didn't mean to get this off the flat Earth stuff. I was interested since you know so much on it.
These are panoramas. This is right before the Grand Prix, so they had one of the things in the checklist and the timeline they were supposed to do was to record some of the physics and things that were going on with the lunar rover. So they wanted to be able to capture that on DAC, which is this data acquisition camera. And that was 16 millimeter film. So these photos that you see in this panorama right now are taken from their chest mounted cameras. And they're extremely high resolution. In fact, I have this printout that I did of some of these pans. They're just
Do you have this on your channel?
No.
Would you consider putting it on your channel?
What would you like to see on exactly?
The television recording of the moon landing. I would like to try to get it to Owen. I know it won't matter, but
okay, now this right here. Let me back this up because most people have never seen the second portion of this. I don't even know if it's on YouTube. As far as I know, it's not. So this was the Grand Prix right here. And this is unedited. So you get to see Charlie Duke is the cameraman here operating. This is actually film from the data acquisition camera. And John Young, the commander of the mission, he's the one driving this thing, and he's fishtailing, going crazy. And I'll go ahead and just speed it up a little bit so you can see, but they wanted to see how this car would, operate on the moon, and they had a short time to do it. In fact, the first time they had it scheduled, they weren't able to do it. They had run out of time. So that part right there, I believe, is on YouTube. The second part here, because they do it again, I'm not sure that it is. Or maybe it's the first one that's not posted. I have one of them because I got the I used when YouTube first came out with their stabilization, I applied it to some of this footage here and put it on my channel. So this short clip here is on my channel.
yeah, I would really like to have that that one you got off the monitor.
Oh yeah, I have all the TV, the television transmissions from 8, 15, 16, 17, and 11. Oh, and 13. I'm missing 14 and 12. Those are the ones that I need.
See, that's one of their big claims. There's no original footage. There's no original footage.
I'm sure there is. There's tons of it. Tons and tons and tons.
Yeah, just like there's no photos of Earth from space.
Yeah,
that's and that was another thing too. I mean, you can. I think it's coming up here. This is. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up because at some point Ed points that camera up at the Earth.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and some of this footage and some of the film, you can actually see Venus.
Damn, Dandy, I want to have a hangout with you and let you play this stuff, and so I can get it recorded.
Oh look, right here, he's fixing to do it. There it is. There's the Earth.
Jesus.
This is all sped up too. So this, I mean, but it gives you, if you watch it sped up, that's the thing. Oh, look, and you're like, look at here, this pendulum, the ECB right there that's swinging on the side of the lunar module. It would never do that on Earth. You could sit there and watch that thing. It does not react the same way that it would on Earth. It goes on and on and on. Anything that they touch that swings, it just keeps going on and on and on because there's nothing to stop it. There's no atmosphere to stop it and very little gravity holding it down. They're brushing each other off. They're about to brushing the camera. And that's another thing too. They talk about that flag waving around in the wind and all that shit. That's bullshit, man. There is tons of this footage right here of them working in and around that flag, and it never fucking moves. Not an inch. The only time it moves is when they're touching it or if they brush up against it. It's the only time. You will not see it move otherwise.
These are photos of, oh, this right here, man, I've got all the original film. There's a guy who took the film off of this. That thing is doing an alpha, gosh, what's the name of it? They had that particular experiment. It's a telescope. And they are looking at the sun and they're looking up at the stars. So people were talking about, oh, there's no stars in these photos. Well, they weren't exposing for stars on the surface of the moon. It's extremely bright. But when they were in the shadow of the lunar module and they brought a very specific telescope to look up at the stars, they have plenty of stars in the photos. So you have to go and look for those. And they do exist and they're very high quality. There's tons of experiments. That's the thing that folks never actually go and look for. They don't care to. They just, I don't know what the deal is. I think it's that they're not really interested in what is true. They don't really care what is true, no matter how it makes them feel. That's how I feel. I feel like they're a bunch of paranoid people who don't trust the government to start with, and then they've never considered any of this stuff ever, because what did they do during high school? What did they do after high school? Are any of these people, do they really have like a job that, you know, is producing fruit? You know, something that really makes them happy? I think a lot of these guys are just, you know, they've gotten to a position where they realize this is all that it is. And they never expected to be confronted by this kind of stuff, and they got bored. And then the first time they ever considered moon landings, I mean, you ask just go ask people on the street what they know about Apollo. They'll say, well, Neil Armstrong, he was the first one. I think it happened in the 60s or 70s, and that's it. They don't know how many people went to the moon. They don't know their names. They don't know where they came from. They don't know what their backgrounds are. They don't know what experiments happened on the moon. They have no idea, you know, anything about the orbital mechanics, all the math that had to be, the gyroscopes that were created by Draper at MIT in these laboratories, and the people who worked on these things, and these women from a company who was making rubber pants for boys were the ones who created these suits, you know, and the company that created the ice sublimator to get rid of the heat, you know, and the undergarment and the idea behind that undergarment and where it came from. It was like a Frenchman who had come up with this design of having all these little tubes running ice water through these tubes in a garment, which kept them cool. And that's what's in that PLIS, that PLSS, the personal life support system. If you go and look at the technology behind the personal life support system, it is like phenomenal. It's amazing the kind of stuff that they did. I mean, I have footage of them actually doing these high altitude tests with the lunar module. They claimed it was never tested and there's no footage. Bullshit. Yes, there is. Go and fucking find it. Go look for it. They always stop at the question. They never look for the answer. Well, how come this? How come you don't see any stars? Ha ha. Like, okay, go look up the fucking answer. Why don't you find out?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not, I never cared that much about anything like that. And I probably learned more the last 2 weeks just listening to Benjamin, you know, just looking up on Wikipedia than I knew throughout my whole life. So it's there and relatively easy to find.
It's extremely easy to find. There's tons and tons of this stuff. And I've had books for, you know, I got books for miles. I'm such a nerd about this stuff. I go and look up the transmissions to and from
mission control, and I will count how long it takes, because you hear them talking over each other all the time because of the delay. You know, like there's a little delay in us speaking right now, and so we sometimes talk over each other. Well, there was a delay of several seconds, and where it was recorded is important because it was recorded and played back in mission control. So they're hearing the astronauts, and to them, they never speak over the astronauts, but the astronauts are the ones who are being spoken over. So you'll hear mission control say something back to the astronauts, and the astronauts will begin speaking 2 seconds into what they're saying and then stop. And you can go through all of these transmissions back and forth, and you can calculate at the speed of light, because that's how fast radio transmissions go. 186,000 miles a second is like what? Several million miles an hour. And you can sit there and you can literally calculate, and you can go through hours and hours and hours, for several hundred hours of this, and see that they're being spoken over in that exact way. And you won't find it otherwise. You won't find it the other way around. It's exactly as it should be if they were speaking from that far away. And the types of things that they're talking about and the types of things they're saying, is just no way in hell that they thought of all that stuff. I mean, the only way that it could be done is if they had some type of,
like some type of Hollywood basement or something.
no, it would, because there were so many amateurs like listening in, and they had to point their antenna at
towards San Francisco.
So what could possibly be out there that would cause that type of delay, you know, for them to pick that up?
It's the Illuminati space lizards. We all know it.
It would have to be, you know, something in a type of geostationary orbit that rotated at the same speed and it was in the same position as the moon. It would have to be that way. There's no other way it could have been done. And I'll tell you how you can be convinced, or how you can know for sure, is to start studying the technology behind it. So whenever you have a question as to how come something, you go back and look at that lunar rover Grand Prix and watch that dirt fly up and go straight back down. Straight back down. You'll never see any dust float around, and dust gets kicked up everywhere all throughout this footage. And there's hundreds of hours of television transmissions that you can go and watch. And every time they kick up some of that dust, it goes straight back down. It doesn't stay in the atmosphere. It doesn't billow. There's no dust clouds, no nothing. What else could do that?
Well, Dandy, I would love to have a hangout with you where we do nothing but talk about Apollo. That would be great. We need to do that.
No, I want to do it.
I don't care. I don't care about that. I'm just saying we need to, like, I really would like to learn more about it, and you seem to be like the go-to source for it. And you've brought up a lot of things about like how they designed the different modules and how they had this iterative process where they designed it, and you can see like different steps along the way. I'd really like to hear more about that type of stuff.
Here's a good 3-disc collection of all the transmissions to and from Apollo 8 right here. You've got photos, you've got video, you've got film. Every single magazine of film they took is on these discs. Every bit of the television transmissions are on these discs.
Yeah.
And all of it is completely unedited. It is transferred to DVD.
So exactly what the conspirators ask for. Unedited. They ask for that all the time.
There it is. So get it, play it, watch it. Stop fucking around and making up a bunch of nonsense that this stuff doesn't exist.
Demonetized.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm just totally kidding with you. All right, let's wrap it up, guys. It's been like way too long.
Yep.
Thanks for everybody stopping by, and if you want to see any more of these photographs, be happy to share. Just let me know. Anyway, yeah, thanks for stopping by, and there will be a. So I've tried to make Mondays my day to interview people, and that I've kind of claimed that day since every other day seems to be claimed by someone else. So Mondays, I have claimed that day. I'll be doing more interviews. I actually have a bunch lined up. The next one will actually be a premiere, which is going to be Christmas Eve. That will be flat out. I did a flat out interview yesterday. We decided to do it as a premiere instead of a live interview because, of course, it was Christmas Eve. And we figured that everybody would still appreciate it as they were waiting for Uncle Sal to wake up off the couch after eating all the turkey. They would probably be able to watch the video while we were premiering it. And so please check in. It's going to be 8:30 Central. We will be interviewing flat out, and it was a fun one, I must say. It was very fun. The guy is hilarious. And please drop in. So that will be coming. And we have the upcoming January observations. Before that, I will be interviewing Mick West. So, yeah, stick around. Lots going on before the new year really gets started. So looking forward to it. Thanks for
Stanley, is there going to be anybody else coming with us? Other than, so it's going to be me, you, Jesse, who else?
Me, Jesse, Reg Rhetoric. I think Sean Hufford might show up. I also think Jose Gonzalez will show up. He says he's going to show up. I don't know. We'll see. He's kind of like wishy-washy about that right now. And a long time ago, didn't we hear from Flat Earth Perth said he was coming? So
I haven't seen an upload or
I know
anything.
I haven't heard anything from him in a long time, but he did say at some point that he was going to be here at the same time. So we'll see.
He might be. I don't know.
We also have Mike the Globesard, who is a new guy, a local guy, and he's the guy that's actually reproduced some of my observations, including he literally drove by the transmission lines and filmed a video on his iPhone 6 while he was driving by on a clear day. And then he went home and he zoomed in to his iPhone 6 video and cropped it, and it showed the curvature, which I thought was hilarious. So,
Who was that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mike the Globetard is his screen name. But yeah, this guy's he's kind of a new local guy. I'm not sure exactly how he found me, but he is local, so he's been going around with a P1000 and basically filming a bunch of stuff, that I've already done. So he's basically replicated my observations. He got the transmission lines. He got, I think, New Orleans from across from the North Shore. He's done a lot of things, so he's going to be with us as well. Well, I think we're going to have I think we're literally going to have between P900s and P1000s. We're going to have 6 of those there.
I'm gonna be there, Soundly. I have to stop by and pick. I got to stop by and tell Miss J that we're filming, and then I'll be there. If I'm not there, y'all wait on me.
4th and 5th are our major days, as those days we're going to be really doing it.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. Come
on, show up.
It's only 300 miles.
That's all you got to do. All you got to do is swim here. That's the route. Okay, guys. Thanks for stopping by. What are you saying, Dandy?
Oh, I was just wondering if we were ever going to have a. I know we kind of briefly mentioned doing something together, and kind of talking about who's going to get what shot. Do we have?
Yeah.
I mean, I know what I'm doing. I know what you're doing. I don't know what anybody else. Oh, and Jesse, I know what Jesse's doing. So these other guys,
So-
do they need help?
Yeah,
with
so
anything?
Yeah, so we were doing these. We were planning on doing like little get together hangouts, and it kind of fell through for reasons. But I do want to do another hangout. But what Jesse said was we just need to all meet up on Friday at the bar in the hotel, and
Okay.
and basically the way Jesse's thinking is everybody has their own thing they want to do, but in some cases there's going to be some people that need help. Like there's going to be cases where there needs to be two people there, and in those cases where somebody has an observation where they need somebody else's help, we want to arrange that so that everybody can get what they need. For example, me and you, Dandy, are going to be doing that shot across the causeway, right?
Right.
New Orleans. So that's one example. But I already told Jesse, I was like, look, on Saturday, I'm going to stay in that hotel room until I get that shot of the causeway, and that's pretty much all I'm going to be doing until it's done. And it's going to be a lot of work because I want to do focus stacking, and I want to do six sets of focus stacking, and then I want to do a mean stack with those focus stacks. So that's going to be a lot of work, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take me, but I want to do it until I get it because I only have one shot. And so I want to focus on that on Saturday. But on Friday, I would really like to capture airplanes landing at the airport, and specifically Jesse's airplane. And I imagined that me and you would be also after that doing the causeway shot. So that's my kind of tentative plan.
Okay. Well, I think it's a good plan. I just want to know what we're doing first and at what time. Each thing. I know that you're pretty much off limits on Saturday. You're going to be doing your thing.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
Friday.
let's talk about it. Let's get it ironed in.
I'm coming for the seafood. That's the only reason I'm coming.
We got some good clams.
I'm making a crawfish etouffee tomorrow morning.
Heck yeah. How you gonna make a crawfish etouffee? You got some frozen crawfish tails?
Yes, I do.
No, man, I'm jealous.
Oh man, they're expensive too.
Dandy, don't leave when he shuts this down. I want to tell you one thing real fast.
Okay.
All right, guys, shutting it down. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Adidas.